What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. For this video, you guys know me. My name is D-Free, and we're going to go ahead and go over the Gohan. Now, this guy is Extreme Z Awakening in just under 2 weeks on the 12th of next month, and I wanted to give my way too early, way too soon predictions as far as like how good this unit could be, but trust me, it's going to be what I'd like to consider an educated guess anyway. We're going to go ahead and base it off of previous things that have happened throughout this game's lifespan, and I feel like that's a good point, now that I mentioned it, again, lifespan of the game, to mention out that I'm going to be doing a video kind of comparing the game when it was new versus how it is now, and all that has changed. Somebody asked me to do that, and I thought that was a fun idea topic on a side note. But anyways, we will be comparing this unit versus other Extreme Z Awakens, other units that have flat boost passives, and how they turned out either getting a bigger boost or flat out changing to percentage based. And we're going to talk about it. So hope you guys enjoy. If you do, make sure you hit that subscribe button to stick around on the channel. We're closing in on 150K. So thank you guys again for the continued amazing support. I love you guys so much, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot to me. So we're going to go ahead and talk about this. And at any point, by the way, on another side note, you guys are amazing at this too, and answering the questions of the day. But at any point, for today's question of the day for this video, let me know how you think this unit will ultimately turn out, excuse me, time out, in before turn-based passive. Anyways, yeah, let me know how you think this unit will turn out ultimately and like what they'll wind up doing with him. This is a fascinating case because we're going to see this again with Gogeta, right? We are going to see this again with Gogeta, but there are not a lot of units that have had changes done, you know? Well, we're going to see it again with Gogeta because the flat boost passive. You know, Gogeta's an interesting case, though, probably more so than this Gohan because he has that secondary part of his passive, the super effective one. But still, we're going to see it again whenever that guy gets an Extreme Z Awakened, so we might as well discuss this now. So Gohan, initially, Ki +5 and 10,000 attack when Ki is 7 or more. But no intent, but you know, that's a good passive, I would say. But no means is that a bad passive. The thing about flat boosts is right now, 10,000 is unimpressive, and it honestly has been for quite some time, especially when we have monsters like this popping up. 80,000, although he pays the price by losing 20,000 defense, but 80,000, this guy will never grow old. Like, he's gonna always be really good. And yeah, so Gohan, he's not gonna get an 80,000 attack passive, right? The most recent unit that has come into the game with a flat boost passive is Trunks, 25. So here's the deal. When it comes to Gohan, they're going to do one of two things. And that's why I wanted to point those 80,000, bro. That's insane. I wanted to talk about those units because the thing is with Gohan, they're going to either give him a big enough attack boost on the passive, like 40,000 probably, 30,000, you know, to where he's still really, really good. And then you couple that with the increased stats. First and foremost, this generation of Dokkan Leader, they get plus 7,000. His attack stat already is 15,000 at Rainbow level, right? Not to mention, he already greatly raises the attack and gets that attack stack going. He has that Kaioken mechanic. So his attack, don't underwhelm. Don't be underwhelmed. Trust me, even with flat boost, he's going to be hitting really hard because this man already has 15,000 attack. He's going to get more from there, being able to go to level 140, I believe. SA level 15. He'll probably pick up immense. You know, this unit is going to be good regardless of what his passive is. Even if it stayed the same, he's going to be good, especially at Rainbow level. But the thing is, they're either going to buff it up to that type of degree or give him a percentage-based passive. Now, when we talk about percentage-based passives, I feel like there's one or two that might have slipped my mind, but the most prevalent example is this Gohan. Initially, all allies were getting plus 2,000 attack, and of course that would apply to him like any other support boost passive. So at the time when this unit came out years ago, back when the rates were horrendous, you guys, some of you guys mad about the rates these days. Oh my gosh, you guys need to play the game when it was new. I'm talking 1%, 3%. Yeah, it was really bad. Anyways, this guy, he's not that first generation of unit, but he's, you know, he's back there, man. He's old. Anyways, so plus 2,000, but he awakened maybe about 8 months ago, you know, or something like that. But this is how he turned out. He's now one of the best universal units in the game as far as support goes. And, you know, he would be better if, of course, he offered Ki or had 40%, but he's still really, really good, and he's one of the top units. I'd say probably the top like 5 or so as far as being able to support attack and defense for all colors, no color restriction. We know that there's the 40% 3-key, support units like TN and Kaba, STR, like those ones that do it for a specific color. But we see that they went ahead and changed. This right here proves that they don't mind changing. And you know what? I just thought of another unit that might even be more relevant to this. Actually, let me see if he actually wound up getting a passive change. And wound up getting better, and I'm talking about this guy. Here's another example. I knew there was another one or two that had this change that I didn't think of. I'm glad I thought of this guy right now. So he was initially getting, prior to his Extreme Z Awakening, this is probably the most relevant comparison, by the way, so pay attention. Initially was getting 3-key and 5,000 attack, literally the same passive as Gohan, minus the super early part, but basically self-sufficiency and a flat boost attack passive, right? Gohan's passive is better, but still. Here's how he changes. This first line stays the same, but he keeps the 3-key, and now he gets 80% attack and defense instead. This is exactly what I expect them to give to Gohan. And they might, and this is kind of what I think, I think he's honestly going to get 80% attack and defense. Like, that's literally what I think they're going to give him. And don't be underwhelmed by that because of the comparison to this Goku. This Goku is a solid Extreme Z Awaken, but still, even with Gohan getting 80%, again, all the factors I talked about earlier, getting plus 7,000 in the potential system, while this Goku only gets plus 5,000, is a huge factor, first and foremost. Having immense damage, while this Goku has Supreme, well, he might have immense damage, right? The Gohan, he probably will. I don't know, man. Bandai's weird. Anyways, things like that. So that's what I ultimately think will have the most merit on this Gohan, and that's what I think, as far as this unit is concerned, will wind up happening. So he'll keep the key plus 5, and he'll basically keep this one key as 7 or more. He might just lose this, to be honest. I mean, because what this is doing is saying, like, when he gets to 7 key, he's guaranteed to launch a super because he gives himself 5 more key. They're trying to be cute with that, but they might just take this off and say he gets 5 key at the start of the turn, and then he gets 80% attack and defense with immense damage, or Supreme, to be honest. They might leave Supreme, I don't know. But immense damage and greatly raising attack and or defense. They might add defense there as well, and that's how they would break it down. But I know one thing is for sure, otherwise. They're going to give this unit some sort of defense, whether it's flat out defense on the passive, whether it's defense boost as well on the burst rush super attack, or whether it is, like a 3-turn one or whatever they want to do with it. I don't know. Or if it's like dodging, like they did with the Kaioken Goku Super Saiyan. They have to give this unit defense, and there's a common trend between all the Extreme Z Awakens anyway. We were just looking at Goku. He got defense when he didn't have it initially. If we go back and we take a look at Gohan and we look at Goten 2, they didn't really have the defense either, and for comparison's sake, I will go ahead and show you guys those units. Here goes Gohan. He had no defense whatsoever, but all of a sudden he picks up 40%. And then last but not least, we have Goten down here, who probably was the easier comparison because I was already down there. He picks up defense on the super attack and then 70% defense here. And then if we bounce over to the Extreme Z Awakening units, they all pick up defense if they did not have it previously. Goku picks up 70% defense, which is unturn restricted. And he also, of course, keeps the turn restriction, but picks up 20% more attack. So there's that with Goku. Cell, he picks up 3% more defense, which is nothing to scoff at, okay? And he also heals here, so that's another, in that defensive bubble, right? And then here's Frieza, arguably the most underwhelming one for a lot of people, not myself included, but for a lot of people. He picks up defense on the super attack. He already had him. This unit was so good already. 120, immense. This is why he's underwhelming to people. He picks up 30% defense there, keeps the 120, and then he also gets 3 key and 30% defense. Although they did put a restriction, he has to be the first attacker in a turn. But still, he's picking up defense. Last but not least, Broly, the most polarizing defensive change I've seen probably. He went from literally dropping his defense no matter how much it was, and this isn't the exact same thing as LR Broly, because LR Broly, for example, at rainbow level can tank very well. Even when he's not at rainbow level, can tank very well before he launches his super attack, because he doesn't lose 20,000 until he launches a super. And again, it's only 20,000 because under Extreme, whatever team he's on, Pure Saiyans, whatever, he's got a lot of categories I see now. No matter what team he's on, he's going to have more than 20,000 defense. So he's not going to drop down to 0, especially not at rainbow level, but even he doesn't have to be there. This guy literally said he reduced his own defense to 0. He went from doing that to buffing it. by 80%. So Gohan is going to for sure get defense, okay? That is a thing, and I've talked about that recently a lot. If you have not noticed the trend with these units, especially since the anniversary, because that's a big milestone, these units have come out in a way where they have defense, and more defense. Not all blowing up stuff anymore. They have trended down. They have not made that same mistake of making every new unit just hit insanely harder than the other. They are trending in a opposite direction. And here's a last little bit just to kind of clear that point off. There is a last little bit that I did want to show you guys. If we go all the way down here, these units, man, these awakenings or these new versions of Dokkan Festival units, this guy's getting up to 70% defense here, you know, things of that nature. I believe he's getting 70%. It might be, I think it's 70, right? 170 attack and then 70 defense. It says right here, attack and defense 100% up, remaining HP, I don't know. But either way, he's getting defense. I'd have to double check. I've already forgotten. You know, this guy has defense. He's also getting tankier each turn, so on and so forth. Vegeta, naturally a high defense unit. Defense goes up by 7% each time he launches an attack. Jiren has very high defenses here as well, already at 130. So they're doing that. So Gohan will pick up defense. So to kind of cap it all off, to close the video out, Gohan will ultimately change to 70% leader skill. He greatly raises. If you ask me what I think the super attack effect would be, honestly, I'd say it would just become either greatly raises attack or attack and defense. I think that's what they will do, of course. I think that's the easiest way. As far as Supreme or Immense, all the other ones changed from Supreme to Immense. And I think, honestly, if this guy went from Mass, which is equivalent to Extreme, actually, because typically when they hit all enemies, they have Extreme as a modifier. He went from that to Supreme. I think, honestly, if Cell, for example, with his Nuke-type passive, can go from Supreme to Immense, I think Gohan will too. I think that's how that's going to break down. So I'm going to say Immense for Gohan as well. Ultimately, the passive skill, he's still going to keep the self-sufficiency, excuse me, even if he doesn't need to get that certain amount of ki, he'll still get that additional 5, which under just about any team is guaranteed to be a super anyway. He'd start off with 11 ki in that scenario, not factoring in links, which is something I'm going to talk about really soon as my closing point. But he'll also get the attack and defense up 80% is my assumption. Link skills will not change because apparently they do not like changing Link skills for some reason, because boy, would this Broly have loved to get prepared for battle. Boy, would this Frieza have loved to stay exactly the same. Never mind, he's fine. Or he could have picked up Shocking Speed, maybe. Boy, did this guy want to pick up Shocking Speed, and Goku's fine. So, yeah, there were things like that that could have happened, but they did not. 80,000, boys. So that's that. And as far as the links go on this unit, honestly, he's in a weird position because when we take a look at Shocking Speed, which is his only good link, it's a good link for Hybrid Saiyans. Like, he might even mess around and be optimal on Hybrid Saiyans, especially if you don't have 1 or 2 of the LRs. So keep that in mind. But if we look at Super Int, you know, very curious units have it. We're missing a lot of the best units, actually. We're missing UI. We're missing Gogeta. We're missing a lot of them. So that's kind of how that breaks down for him. Now, the thing about that is it's contradictory in a way because it doesn't hurt him in particular, whether or not he has a Shocking Speed buddy. But again, if your team doesn't link very well, then maybe it does hinder you in some way, shape, or form. You might need another support or things like that. And that's always been the issue with this unit. And the Ultimate Gohan. Wow, he can't even be on Hybrid Saiyans. Now that I think about it, he can't even be there because the leader. Whoops. Never mind. Forget that point entirely. He can't even be on the team. Either way, this would be the team he would be best on, and its leader previously had Shocking Speed, no longer does. The AGL variation did. That just further continues to be a bad thing. The only units that he really have access to with that would be some AGL variants like this card that would have Shocking Speed that he can link with. Otherwise, there's not a lot here. Shocking Speed? No. I mean, Buhan, if you want Buhan. So, this is the issue with Gohan. So, he's in a weird position team-wise. So I don't know how that's going to work. We'll have to play with the unit and test him out. If he's an off-rotation unit and the other 2 units on the same rotation link very well, then it's not a problem. But who knows, man. We'll have to test it out. And it's going to be different for each person. So I hope that you guys enjoyed. Hope that you guys learned something. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Subscribe if you happen to be new to the channel, of course, for more content. Have an awesome day. I will catch you all in the next Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle Breakdown video. Breakdown rap. I don't know. Anyways, peace.